How are you? How am I? I think I'm okay. I don't really know, because uh, it's fall here now, so now my allergies, some days my allergies are really bad, and I don't know if today's going to be a good day or a bad day yet. We'll see. I'm okay right now, but we'll see if I start sneezing and coughing more. Why are there so few people? Well, I just started, Tom. I just started 3 minutes ago. Yeah, 3 minutes ago, Tom. You're on time today. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Flavia. You were at the beach. And Flavia, you should say, I wasn't here these days because. Oh, no, that was right. You wrote it. Never mind. You wrote it correctly. You were at the beach. Well, fun. I haven't been to the beach in years. I love the beach, but I haven't been there in years. I live in Ohio. I'm very far away from any beach. There's no beaches here. All right, so I'm here. It's been 5 minutes now. It's Saturday, September 13th. Hello, Tanya. Let's see. What's a good word? I'm writing something and I'm looking for words. See, I use my thesaurus all the time. If you have questions, you can ask them. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Hello, Esserhani. All right. Hello, everybody. I am here. If you have questions, you can ask me your questions. Hello, Ghost. All right, I'm finished. Magam's asking, you have a flu. I'm so sorry to hear that. It hurts everywhere. What can you do other than going to the doctor? Well, Nagam, you should go to the doctor. You know? Like, first of all, I cannot give you any medical advice. I will not give any medical advice here. Right? That's beyond my purview. That's beyond my scope. But I can tell you this. Go to the doctor. And if you go to the doctor, then I can give you some things that you could also do. Like drink some hot water with honey and lemon and ginger. Right? So take some ginger and cut it up and put it in some water. Boil the water for a few minutes. Sometimes I boil it a lot. Sometimes I only boil it for a minute or two. The more you boil it, the stronger that ginger flavor will be in the water. So be careful, because ginger is pretty powerful. Then, when you have the hot boiling ginger water, You can take the pieces of ginger out if you want to, or you can leave them in there if you want them to steep. We call that steeping, which means they will continue to add flavor to the water. Then you can add some lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and honey, and mix it up. That's good. Anytime I'm sick, I usually make that for myself. And it's not going to make me better, but it helps me feel better while I'm trying to get through the bad symptoms, right? So it's not going to cure anything, but it'll at least make you feel a little bit more comfortable while you're dealing with your symptoms. Okay? My voice is a bit hoarse. Is it really? Let me hear myself. That could be because of both my allergies and because I've been speaking a lot recently. But I don't think I hear any hoarseness in my voice. I don't think so. The word was is always pronounced with a Z, or in some cases is it pronounced with an S. That's interesting. No, it's always with a Z as far as I can think of. Yeah, it's always with a Z as far as I can think of. Okay? I don't like going to the doctor either, Nagam. I really don't. Not because I don't trust medicine. I do trust medicine. But unfortunately, well, healthcare in America is just terrible. It's never good. It's never... it's always... It just isn't what it should be. When you feel bad, you should go in... there should be a building... You walk in the door, and immediately you see somebody who you can talk to who can help you feel better. But no, it's never that simple. Yeah, Nancy, look, I think American healthcare sucks. It's absolutely terrible compared to healthcare in many other places around the world. We have the highest quality, right? So, I mean, we have the best technology, we have the best hospitals, we have the best doctors. But our system is garbage. It's garbage. Complete garbage. And it's because we have health insurance, which is a scam. It's a complete scam that is meant to steal money from people. And they do. So, and it makes it difficult to get a doctor. It makes it difficult to see a doctor. It should be easy. It should be something that you don't have to think about at all. There should be no paperwork at all. None. If you are sick, I don't care who you are or how much it costs. We're going to help you. Paperwork is about business. That's about money. That has nothing to do with sickness. That's my opinion. If you're in the business of medicine, it's not a money-making business. It's not supposed to be. If you think it is, you're part of the problem. Okay. Next English question. Let's see. Which option is best to start first? Grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, speaking, reading, or writing? Edgar, I don't really think you should... You can't really do one and then do the other. You have to do them all like they're a table with 8 legs, and there are 8 things that you need to work on, right? So what I would say, Edgar, is you need to sit down and make a plan for, like a weekly plan for how you're going to practice these 8 things. Okay, what are the 8 things that you need to practice for English or for language, any language? The 8 things are, pay attention, reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay? And then those 8 things, you need to think about them in 2 ways. One is the active parts of language. The active parts of those 5 parts: reading, writing, listening, speaking, and thinking. Those require actions. Those are actions that you have to do, right? So that's the active part of language. But then there's the passive part of language too. That's grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. You have to work on those things and develop them so that you can use them in the active part, right? So these are the passive things that you have to learn so that you can use them in the active part of language. Okay? So, make a plan. Monday, I'm going to work on reading and writing, or every day I'll work on speaking, but on these days I'll work on this also. Okay, Edgar? Hello, Jojo. Does it take much time to see a doctor? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, no. It's just, Nancy, it's just very simple. It should be simpler than it is. It's not so simple. It should be, I don't feel good. I'm going to the doctor. I shouldn't even need to make an appointment if I don't have one. I should just be able to go there and say, hey, I'm sick. Can you see me, please? Honestly, that's how it should work. I don't care how many people you need to make that happen. That's how it should work, right? And it should be so simple that I should just have to go there. I should not need to think about, do I have my insurance card? And is my insurance card updated and valid? And which insurance plan do I have? And does it cover what I'm going to ask about? If I'm sick, maybe there are some things that my insurance won't cover. So what's the point of even going to the doctor if they're not going to pay for it? I can't afford it. Right? So it's too complicated. It's all because it's a business, and that's sick. So, yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. Healthcare is something that should not be a worry. It should not be a concern. It should not be a stress. But it is for every American. Unless you're rich. If you're rich, then you have plenty of doctors that you can pay anytime you want. But for the normal people, yeah. That's in all the world, Professor. If you're talking about medicine, then yeah, I know there are many places like that. But I think many people they think that America must, it must be better here. Things must be better here, and that's one thing that I can tell you. The American healthcare system is not better than any of the other major countries' healthcare systems. Again, it's complicated because we have the best stuff, just not the best system. Yeah. Okay, now moving on. More or less, how many times does a guy need to speak? Jojo, there is no amount. Jojo. If you learn a language, you're learning a musical instrument. It's something that just takes time. So, for example, Jojo, if I teach 10 kids how to play the same song, they're all going to learn it at a different rate, right? One kid might get it quickly, very quickly. He can play it very well, very quickly. But another kid might take a long time to get the same song to sound good, right? So there is no one who can tell you how long it will really take. It's just like a musical instrument. It's different for everybody, okay? But Everyone can be good. Everyone can sound musical if you practice long enough. You just have to keep working on it. But there is no value. There is no value to trying to see the end of the finish line. The finish line. There's no value in trying to see the finish line or the ending or something. You're trying to imagine how long it's going to take. There's no value in that. The journey will take as long as it takes. Okay? And there is no value in thinking about how long it takes. So just let me teach you an English phrase. Sometimes we say, keep your head down. Keep your head down means don't look forward. Don't try to imagine where the race is ending. Just keep your head down, look at your feet, and put one foot in front of the other. Keep moving forward. Keep your head down means keep moving forward. Don't think about the end. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other and look at your feet. Are your feet moving forward? Then you're doing fine. That's the analogy you need to think about when you're learning anything, but especially a language or a musical instrument. Keep your head down. As long as your feet are moving forward, then you're making progress. Okay? All right, let's see. What about procrastinating to learn English and facing difficulty? Taylor, procrastinating is a problem for everyone, including me. I procrastinate all the time. But the first thing you have to do is you have to believe that procrastination is really bad. The reason people procrastinate is because they don't think it's that bad. They don't. The problem is when you procrastinate, it's possible that the things that you're not doing could cause a major problem for you, right? They could cause, in the future, there may be a major problem for you because you did not do something. You procrastinated. But when you're procrastinating, it doesn't feel like there's any danger. It doesn't feel like there's anything that's ready to come down on you, right? So that's why you do it, because I'll do it later. It doesn't feel dangerous, right? When a car is coming at you, you feel danger, so you move. But when you're procrastinating, you don't feel any impending danger. Impending means coming. Right? So it doesn't feel like there's anything that's going to happen to you right now. So it's okay. I can wait. Okay? It's kind of like this. I teach people that procrastination is kind of like you're driving down the road. Okay? That's the action that you're doing. Whatever it is that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to write a paper. You're supposed to do homework. You're supposed to work on a presentation or a project or a book or something, right? That's your action. That action is the car driving down the road. Okay? And when you drive, your hands are on the wheel and you are in control of that car. So you're driving. And that has purpose. When you procrastinate, it's like you're still driving, you're still moving forward, but you took your hands off the wheel. And now is the car definitely going to crash? No, not definitely. There's a possibility maybe it will be okay. So maybe if you procrastinate, it will be okay. Maybe. But if you take your hands off the wheel and the car is moving, maybe it won't be okay. And you know that. That's why you don't take your hands off the wheel. So, this analogy helps you because it helps you to try to imagine danger that is real. That helps you imagine something that makes you understand the danger of procrastination. And if you can make it feel dangerous, you'll pay more attention to it and not do it. Okay? Jojo, if you really want me to give you a number of months to speak English very well, then I will say that number is 6,421 and a half months. 6,421 months. That's how long it takes to speak very well in English. Not every day, Nancy. Nancy, I'm here Monday through Saturday usually. Sometimes I'm busy. Sometimes I'm tired or sick. Sometimes I have students so that I have to teach and I can't do a stream, you know. But I try to be here Monday through Friday or Saturday. I have done more than 1,200 of these streams. Okay, 1,200, more than that, 2,000 hours. All right, let's see. Diego's saying, oh, that's interesting. So in Venezuela, you said we have the opposite. So you have the best attention, nursing, and love, but you just don't have the infrastructure and technology. Yeah, that sucks too. Yeah. Anyway. But you don't have to make an appointment. Well, see, that's there you go. That's better. Diego, that's better. Why do some people tell you that you can speak English well in 3 to 6 months? Because of marketing. Jojo, they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you the idea that their method, their system, is the best because it's the fastest. Okay? Anyone who tells you that there's a finish to learning doesn't understand learning. Yes, keep your chin up is a different phrase. Keep your chin up means don't be sad, don't be disappointed, don't be frustrated. Keep going. Jayo, you can do it. Keep your chin up. Because when you're sad, right, my chin is down. But when you're happy or you're proud, your chin is up. Right? All right. Let's see. Thank you, Brave Wolf. Wow, Esserhani, that's a big question. Can I explain the origin of the English language and how it was influenced by other languages? I can. Absolutely, I can. It will take me a couple of hours, though. Esserhani, let me give you a short version of it, okay? I'll give you kind of like a very short version of it. So the way the English language started was there was a group of people in what we now call England. It was not called England at the time. They were called the Anglos and the Saxons. And those group were not even there. They were not even in England yet. They were in Northern Europe, kind of around the northern France area, right? Kind of like along that, just across the channel, from England. They were kind of living right there, right? And then there were the people in England. They were the Celts and some other tribes, some mixed tribes from all those areas, okay? And the Anglos and the Saxons, they moved over into England and London, and then they mixed with those groups there. And that became the first group of kind of Anglo-Saxon people, okay? And Anglo is where we get the word English from. And, but the Saxons, that's their Germanic peoples. That's why English is considered a Germanic language. Okay, if you look up what kind of language is English, it's considered a Germanic language. And that's why, because those were the Germanic peoples who were mixing with the peoples in what was England at the time, okay? And then that area had very strong influence from France. Why? Because England and France were constantly fighting with each other. And so sometimes England would rule over France, and sometimes France would rule over England, and they would fight back and forth. And because of that, there was a lot of language exchange, influence, right? And that entire area for 1,000 years or more was ruled by the Romans. And the Romans used Latin as their language. That was the language of the Roman Empire, which was the most powerful empire at the time. And so, 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek, because the Romans were very influenced by the Greeks. Okay? 30% of English words come from French, because of all the French-English, back and forth fighting and influence. 20% of our words come from German. And then we have many, many words that come from many other languages because of trade and culture and just the spread of language, right? So we have words that come from Arabic and words that come from Persian and words that come from Hindi and from Chinese and from Japanese and from Italian and from Spanish, right? So we have adopted words from all over. But the primary influences on English are those original ones that I said. The first being the Anglos themselves, right? That's the first part. Then there's the Germanic influence. Then there's the French influence. Then there's the Roman, Latin, Greek influence. And that's how the English language was created. All right? That's the short story. Now, if I needed to make that, really clear, it would take me 2 hours. All right, let's see. Miss Smith or her parents is going home. That's a weird sentence to say. Because when you say Miss Smith, that's one person. Then you said or her parents, that's two people, right? So Miss Smith is going home. Her parents are going home. That is what I would say the answer should be. If you were replying to that, if you were trying to pass that information along, that's how you should say it in 2 sentences, not in one confusing sentence. You should say, is Miss Smith going home or are her parents going home? So in that case, I said, is Miss Smith, God, I can't say it. Is Miss Smith going home or are her parents going home? That would be the proper way to say the question, and the answer would be Miss Smith is going home and her parents are going home. Okay? All right. Thank you, Nora. Do I have a page in YouTube? I do. It's go to my link tree right here. Ah, shoot. Sorry, wait a minute. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's try that again. If you go to my link tree, you can find my YouTube and my website and everything. Okay, go to my link tree. Okay. Why is that not that? There we go. Now, Esserhani, there are people, of course, history is not a perfect thing, History is not a perfect thing. It's what we've imagined history to be, right? We always have to put the picture together and imagine, I think it happened like this, right? So when you read about the history of language or English, of course, there will be some people who will debate about how it was formed or whatever. So there are many people who will say, well, it's not 60% Latin, it's more like 30% Latin, and it's more like 50% French. So there are people who will argue about which languages have more influence or less influence and what percentage are they influenced, but who cares? It's history. You have to choose what you think is the best answer, and then that's what you have to go with. That's how history works, right? So those are the numbers I believe to be the most accurate based on my own personal experience with the language. Okay? Do I have a Chinese TikTok account? I don't yet. No. No. Not yet. I have a Little Red Book and I have a Bilibili, but it's really hard to use those things outside of China. Little Red Book is not too bad, but Bilibili is a bit confusing. Yeah. Anyway. RK, I know English and I speak really bad Chinese really well. Yes, you can go over to my YouTube if you're running out of time here on Hello Talk. That's one nice thing about the way I do it. Right? Okay, somebody's raising their hand, I think. Oh, no, there's not. If you want to raise your hand, you can. Why has English become a priority for the world? Rayan, that's a pretty big historical question that would take a while for me to give a really proper answer. But I'll give you a short answer, okay? Historically, one reason is because of the British Empire, okay? So the British Empire was one of the largest empires in the world, and through colonialism, they spread English all over the world. Okay, so America was a British colony. India, British colony, right? They took over and ran things, and that's what spread the language to many, many places. Okay, so it began with the British colonization of the world and colonialism. Then, after that, it's because of American cultural dominance in entertainment mostly, right? So American TV shows and movies are popular all over the world. People want to watch Hollywood movies, right? So it's partly because of some cultural dominance in both TV, movies, media, publications, writing, things like that. Of course, every other country does have their own movies, and they do have their own books and writing, but just not as much as we do, right? And that's partly because of, again, the amount of, how do I say this? There's more money being pumped into it. So the publication industry here is a bigger industry. The movie industry here is a bigger industry. The TV industry here is a bigger industry than anywhere else. So that means that they make a lot of content, and then that becomes popular. And then The other reason is because English is considered what's called a lingua franca, which actually is a funny story. The meaning of lingua franca means basically it's French language. But the modern meaning of lingua franca means a common language. A common language that two people who don't speak the same language can understand each other using another language. That's a lingua franca, right? So if I go to China, can I find someone who speaks Spanish in China? Of course I can. Can I find someone who speaks Portuguese or French? Sure, I can. But can I find someone who speaks English probably a lot quicker and more easily? Yeah. So, English is the language of business now. English is the language of travel. English is the language of entertainment, video games, you know. So there are many reasons why. It's not because there's some superiority of language. It's just because popularity. It's popular. That's it. It's popular. At this point, it's now because it's popular. The other reasons are historical. Okay? Can I please share it with you because I can't find it? The IR doesn't work with you. Can I share what? What am I sharing? Did they used to have a big population? How did they spread around the world? They did have a pretty big population, but they spread around the world through military dominance. That's how they did it. Nancy, I know that, but I can't do anything about that. You'll have to talk to China about that. Jojo, can I please suggest about practicing English speaking and listening, so where to start? Jojo, go to my website. Did you go to my website yet? Jojo? Let me see. Is it this one? No, not that one. This one. Yeah. Go to my website and subscribe to my website. It's free. You have to give me your email address, but it's free. All right? On my website, let me show you. I'm going to show you here. Take a look at this. This is my website. Okay? And if you go to my website, okay, up here on top, if you want to buy lessons from me, you can buy lessons from me, private lessons. I do teach private lessons. Okay? If you want to read my blog, you can go read my blog here. Okay? Or you can click on this button here, resources. And look at this, Jojo. Teacher Mark's top English resources. Below, I have gathered together all the best study and practice resources I could find from all over the internet just for my subscribers. So if you need to work on your reading, click on reading. And here's ESL Fast for reading, Breaking News English for reading, English Club reading, British Council reading, Hagerstown reading. Or if you need to work on your vocabulary, go here. Thesaurus.com, etymonline.com, Wise on Etymology, Language Guide English, LandGeek, Vocabulary by Topic, Text Project Vocabulary Instruction. Okay? All this stuff. Okay? It's all there. So if you need to study, you can go there and you can study. Okay? All of these should be free resources. Some of them are free, but if you want to buy a subscription or a plan or whatever, they do have a paid version too, right? Of course, you know, everybody does. So there you go. So Misha's saying, was lingua franca the Latin language before French? No, lingua franca has an interesting story to it. It's funny. It's all about the Crusades. During the Crusades, do you guys know what the Crusades were? It was the fight between the Christians and the Muslims a long time ago, right? And during the Crusades, there were many, many, many Europeans who were coming down into northern Africa and fighting, right? And the Muslims, when they would see them, people from North Africa, when they would see the Europeans, the first ones they saw were French. The first ones they saw were usually French, okay? And there were a lot of French, I think, there too. A lot of them were French, okay? But they heard French and they said, oh, it's lingua franca. But they heard all the languages, any language, whether it was English or French or German or any language, if it was from Europe, they said it's lingua franca. It's like French. It just means French. It's kind of funny. They were like, it's just French. They're all French. Kind of funny. Yeah. All right, let's see. What was blocked? My website was blocked? Well, again, guys, I can't. If there are certain websites that are blocked in your country, I'm sorry, but that's not me. All right, I didn't do that. Okay, and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, I'm sorry. Right. If you're smart, there are ways. They call all the non-Arabs like French and Italians Frenya. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Right. So it's like that similar thing. Like lingua franca, Frenya. Oh, it's like, yeah. All right. They're all French. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Can I put my blog in the Italian language? Jojo, yeah, my blog is a little bit more difficult English. When I write my blog, I'm not writing in the simplest way. I want to write in the most complete way to give the best answer. And sometimes that requires more difficult language. But, Jojo, if you're using Chrome or you're using a Firefox or whatever, there should be a very simple translation button that you can click that should translate everything into your language. Okay? Like Chrome can do that. It's not great. They're not always perfect translations, but some languages are better than others. Italian, I don't think it's too bad. It's really bad if it does Chinese or something like that, but it's not too bad if it does Italian, I think. All right, if you have a question, ask me your questions. If you have a question, ask me your questions. All right, if you want to raise your hand, you can. You can come on stage if you want to. Bye, Nancy. Any more questions? I like all these historical questions. I'm a history nerd. So if you are asking questions about the history of the language or some cultural things, I might know. Maybe. I might know. I don't know everything, but I know some stuff. Am I going to play the drums? I don't think so, at least not during this stream. Max, I don't usually play drums during my teaching streams, only because all of my teaching streams are on YouTube right now at the same time, right? And if I play music with music from Spotify, that music is copyrighted music. And that means that as soon as I play a copyrighted thing, now my video is going to get a mark because I'm playing music that's not my music. So that's why I usually try to separate them. I do live streams where I teach and I don't do any music because I don't want to get any kind of mark against my video. And then I do some live streams where I just play music and it's not on YouTube. And I just play for fun, you know? You're going to Sichuan tomorrow, yeah? And we'll eat some yummy food. Max, you're in Russia, right? Your flag is really small on my screen, but I think it's Russia. Sometimes the Russian flag and the Venezuelan flag almost look the same on my computer screen because they're so tiny. Yeah. Is the phrase "the stir of society" useful today? The stir of society, Misha, I've never seen or heard that myself. I can imagine kind of what it means, so there's no reason why you can't use it. It's a metaphorical way of kind of saying the mix, maybe, of society, like the mixed group, right, of society. Possibly that's what it means. I could be wrong. But it's not familiar to me, so it could be either maybe it's a British phrase or an outdated phrase that I'm not familiar with. Hustle and bustle is used, for sure. Yeah, we still use the hustle and bustle of daily life. That just means, hustling means to work hard and to try, right? You're trying, you're hustling, right? So when I was a boy and I played soccer and I'm running down the field, my coach would yell, "Hustle, Mark, hustle, hustle, hustle." It means run, 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 go, go, go. So hustle means to work hard. Bustling means the busyness, right? The chaotic busyness. So the hustle and bustle of the big city is what we usually say, right? You're a construction engineer and you're unemployed. What do I suggest? Tom, wow, again, big question, man. I'm just a drummer, Tom. But if you want me to give you some general advice, one thing that I learned a long time ago that I think was valuable was when I was younger, all I wanted to be was a drummer. Only a drummer. Nothing else. I couldn't even imagine anything else except for being a drummer. My whole life was drums, drums, drums. That's it, right? But what I found out was there's a problem with that. When you have only one thing in life, that's your talent, that's your skill, that's your focus, your passion, you only have one. If you only have one, when things go badly in that thing, your whole life collapses. Your whole life is a mess. Your whole life becomes depressing because you only have one thing and you failed at that somehow. And so it crushes you. It makes you feel like a loser. But then I discovered that I have other things that I can do, and I'm good at them. And maybe I'm even better at them than I was at drumming. So I started teaching, and I started cooking, and I started learning about, history and the world and things like that. And when I discovered that I had another talent, it made me feel more confident, it made me feel more comfortable, and it made me feel more valuable and versatile. So that if I don't do this job, I can do this other job. Right? So if I go to any place, if I move to a new country, I can do many different things. I can play music, play jobs doing music, right? Playing music with rock and roll and jazz and blues and funk and Latin and pop. Any music, I'll play it. Okay? So I can do music. I can teach. If I want to teach, I could work in restaurants if I want to work in restaurants. I'm a pretty good salesman and marketer. So, one thing I learned in life is that it's not a good idea to think about yourself as only one thing. I'm a construction engineer, or I'm a drummer. That's it. It's not a good thing to think that. And you can do many things. You can have many skills, many talents. Human beings are far more amazing than you realize. If you think you only have one talent, no, you probably have 10 talents. You just don't know about them. You just never looked for them. You never developed them. So you think you don't have any. So what I would say is think about your skills and talents and figure out if you have another one, something else that you can do, because now you have more than one option. You don't have to look at only construction jobs. You can do other things. Okay? Okay, let's see. You ask yourself why I wasn't born already speaking English. Well, nobody's born already speaking English. Can I describe for you about freelance works in America, bosses, and the average salary received? Saeed, there are millions of jobs here, and freelance work is all over the place. Freelance work can be everything from a small thing like cutting your grass. The neighbor boy who cuts grass, that's freelance work. All right? Or it could be a freelance architect who doesn't have a company he works for. He works by himself. But that means he can charge anything he wants to charge. If he wants to charge $1 million for a building, he can. Now, will anybody pay it? That will be up to the market to decide. But he can charge whatever he wants to charge. Okay, so freelance work is everything. It's everything from the poorest job to the richest job. All right? And everything in between. And working in American companies is just like working in any company anywhere. There are some companies that are good and it's a good environment, and there are some that are bad and it's a bad environment. What I will say is one thing is generally true here in America. The economics of America are not good right now. So however much they pay you, here's how much they pay you, and here is how much life costs in America. So either it's like this or like this. Like you're not making a lot of money or you're not making any money and life is too expensive, right? So now I want you to understand, I know that the financial situations in many countries around the world are worse than here. I know, okay? But you asked me how it is here. And I'm not going to tell you it's great. It might be better than yours. It might be a better situation than your country. It could be. But it might not be. It might be that, honestly, you would be better off staying where you are and trying to do better where you are. It's not true that everyone who comes here can do better. It's not true. Many people, yes, many people can come here and do better. That's the American dream. But there are some people who come here who probably would have been better off if they would have stayed at home. Because, quite frankly, their systems, some of their systems might be better than some of ours. Okay? That's my opinion, and I'm just a drummer, so who cares what I think? Can the content of the lecture be recorded so you can watch the replay later? Andy, if you can use YouTube, then yes, they're all on YouTube. Okay? 可是你是中国人，所以如果你要看，你需要用好特别的魔法。Okay? Hello, Justin. Good to see you. How are you? Hello, Abdo. Other talents that you can get money from? Sure. You know, just about any talent, if you work at it, you can figure out how to make money from it. Oh my God, Rayanne, that's the question you just asked. Rayanne says, America gained independence in 1776. So what factors contributed to its growth and its emergence as a world-leading power? Rayanne, that's like a 3-year course. I would have to teach you 3 semesters of history in order for me to teach you how America grew to a world-leading power. At least, maybe not even 3 semesters. That might be an entire degree. Yeah. Don't put all the eggs in one basket. Max, we say the same thing in English. We have the same one in English. Thank you, Govind. Yeah, okay. Could I repeat how to choose teaching except drums? What do you mean, Jia? How to choice teaching? What do you mean? Justin, I'm going to have to ask you to not talk about that here, okay? I don't want to talk about it. Not interested in discussing anything about the garbage that's happening in the country right now politically. Okay, it's everything. Everyone's talking about it all over the place. So I don't want to talk about it here. All right. However, I don't think that Charlie Kirk is some angel. It's terrible what happened, but he's not some angel. That's all I want to say. All right. All right, let's see now. What are the main historical stages in the development of the English language, and which languages have the biggest impact on its vocabulary and grammar? Esther Honey, I kind of already answered that. English began as English, Anglo, right? It's a Germanic language, so German is a big influence on it. The grammar, a lot of English grammar comes from German grammar. French has a huge influence on it. About 30% of our words come from French, okay? And 60% of our words, you can find a Latin or Greek root for them. And a lot of our grammar also comes from Latin. So Latin and German, right? So it's a Germanic language with heavy Latin influence and French as well. Those are the main influences. Norse Germanic, which means the northern people of Europe and the Germanic peoples, okay? French, and then Latin and Greek. Okay, those are the main ones. Okay, and then of course English itself, Anglo. All right, let's see. Can I ask what kind of app do I use for streaming here on a PC? If you set up a live stream and you copy the link and then you just open the link in your Chrome browser, you can open it on your computer if you have a webcam and all that. Okay? And yes, I know, Saeed, inflation is a global problem. That's the reason why the real enemy is all the billionaires. Those are the people we should be grabbing by the throat right now. Why did I choose to teach? Because I didn't want to work at McDonald's. I mean, honestly, that was kind of part of it. When I was 18 years old, I had already worked some jobs, a few jobs I'd had working in a restaurant and working at a concert venue, a couple things, working in the mall. And I hated those jobs and they were terrible. So I used to hang out at the music store a lot. There was a music store in my area, and I used to hang out there all the time for hours and hours and hours. I would hang out and listen to the people talking and look at the instruments and try things, and one day they said to me, I knew all the guys at the music store pretty well because I'm there all the time. And one day they said, "Hey, Mark, you're here all the time. We need a drum teacher. Do you want to be our drum teacher?" And I said, "Well, that sounds good. I think that sounds like a great idea." But really, at the time, it was mostly because, it was two things. One, it was because at that age, I was really arrogant. And I believed that I'm so good, I can teach. I was 18. It was silly, but it worked out. And then the other reason was just because I didn't want to work at the other crappy jobs. I didn't want to work at McDonald's or work at a restaurant or work in the mall. I didn't want to do those jobs. So I started teaching. Okay, let's see. Baby, I don't. I'm not a genius. No. I'm just a guy. And anything that I have learned, you can learn. Anything I have learned is out there for anyone to learn. Okay? I don't know what's going on anymore. Okay. By Max. What is taught in private lessons by me to improve spoken English? DK, that's different for every person. Every student I teach, I create a custom plan for that person. So I can't tell you an answer to that because I need a student so that I can say, well, you need to work on your pronunciation and your grammar and a little bit of your vocabulary. And then we'll work on those so that we can apply them to reading and writing and listening and speaking and thinking. Right? I need to see you. I need to know you and so that I can figure out what to tell you. Okay? All right. Let's see. Do I have regular Yeah, I'm here Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. Yes, I'm here regularly. Yes, I am an English teacher. Yes, I started teaching drums first. I started teaching drums in 1994. I started teaching English in 2009. Jojo, you keep asking about how long, Jojo. You keep asking how long it's going to take. It's the wrong attitude. It's the wrong idea. Stop. Just work. Jojo, and sometimes, you know what we say in America sometimes? I'll tell you what we say, Jojo. It's a little bit machismo, but we say real men don't count. Real men don't count. That means if you're a real man, you're not counting how many hours you practiced. Did I do 15 minutes or 20 minutes? Did I do a half an hour? Is that enough? No, you don't count. You just work. You just do it. All right? So stop counting. Just do it. All right? I don't usually like to use these real men don't blah, blah, blah. Those are such stupid statements. But in this case, it's true. All right? Don't count, just do. Don't count. Don't think about how long it takes. Learning is not a process of finishing, ever. Okay? There's no finish. How could I connect with you for lifetime as a teacher-student? Well, you have to follow me here, DK. You've been following me for years already. So just keep following me. Can I explain the meaning of to reach out to someone? Sure, Maher. That's easy. Reach out to someone just means to try to contact them somehow. So if you call them, you're reaching out to them. If you email them, you're reaching out to them. If you text them, you're reaching out to them. It just means to contact them somehow. I'm going to reach out. That means I'm going to use some technology to try to talk to you. Okay, to reach out. All right? And everyone learns at their own speed. That's also true. Yeah. Yeah. I know everybody wants to know how long it takes, but it's a silly question. It's not how learning works. Everyone is different. What you want, I know what you want. Let me tell you what you want. What you really want is to reach a point where your language, your English, it feels comfortable. And you feel like you can use it playfully. You can play with the language. That is what you want. But the play stage of learning, that only happens after you get comfortable. You cannot play if you're not comfortable. So, the first stage of learning is learning all the techniques and the ideas and the concepts so that you can become comfortable. It's just like the first thing that you need to do if you want to swim. You jump in the water. When you learn to swim, the first thing is you're scared of the water. So the first thing you have to do is jump in the water and get comfortable with the water. And then you start learning how to swim with the movements. What movements do I use? Like the doggy paddle. Okay, well, I just move my arms like this and then my legs like this. Oh, okay, that's the doggy paddle. But in the beginning, when you do it, it's very uncomfortable. It's not good. You're panicking. Am I swimming? Am I swimming? Am I okay? It's not comfortable. You can't play when you first jump in the water. You're too scared and you're too awkward. You don't know anything about water yet. You haven't reached a stage of comfortability with water. That analogy is all learning. All learning is jumping in the water, becoming comfortable, and then learning the techniques and harnessing them and making them better, improving them each time, right? But you're never finished swimming. I finished swimming. I learned how to do it. I'm perfect. I'm done. I'm done swimming. I don't need to do swimming anymore. I already finished. I learned it. That's a weird thing to say. I learned piano. I'm finished learning piano. I did it. I can play one song. I learned it. I'm done. No, it's weird. It's weird. Okay? All right, let's see. Can I help you find an American science academic book? What kind of science academic book? There are many, many, many kinds of science. Biology, chemistry, physics, astrophysics. What do you want? Microbiology? What kind of science book? What's the difference between drool and jewel? Drool. Joule. Drool. Jewel. They're different. Okay? I didn't pronounce the R in comfortable. No, I did. Comfortable. Comfortable, right? So, there are two ways to say comfortable. Some people say comfortable and some people say comfortable. They're both fine. Nobody cares. No one cares. No one will be confused by either pronunciation. Okay? Why did I change my hairstyle? I didn't change anything. Some days my hair looks good, some days it doesn't. I'm wearing headphones. Look, my hair is my hair. I woke up, I put on my headphones, I came here. I don't care about my hair. I don't care about my hair. Why do you care about my hair? That's my question. Why do you care about my hair and whether I look handsome or ugly? The value of a person has nothing to do with their hair. Okay? I don't care about my hair. I spend no time thinking about my hair. That's why I wear hats sometimes, because my hair looks bad, so I just say, screw it, I'm going to put on a hat. I don't care. I'm not obsessed with looks. Not really. Okay? Comfortable, comfortable, comfortable. No, there's an R there. It's just a quick R. You can't hear it, but it's there. It's because it goes by quickly. This is how all languages work. The pronunciation of every word in the English language changes depending on the speed of how you say it. So if I say the word interesting, 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 or if I say it fast, interesting, interesting, interesting. Did it change the spelling? No. Did it change the pronunciation? No. But it's too fast for the movements to be heard. Okay? It's too fast for the movements to be heard. All right? For high school biology, DK, have you checked out Khan Academy? Do you guys know about Khan Academy? If you don't know about Khan Academy, you should. You can learn any course, any math, any science, any history, any language for free on Khan Academy. And it's amazing. It's high quality, extremely high quality materials and lectures and lessons. All right? So, DK, go to Khan Academy. Right now. Go there. Okay? All right, let's see. Are there English words that don't have translations in other languages? Yeah, I'm sure there are. Just like there are some words from other languages that don't translate to English. Likes a filmy. I don't know what that means. Literally, girl, comfortable, rural. Literally, girl, comfortable, rural. Can I speak Quay? No, I can. But I know why you want me to say it, but I'm not going to. You know what? What's wrong with you that you try? What is? I'm not here to be tested by you. I'm not here to be tested by you. I'm here to answer questions. If you don't like my answers, you don't have to. Nobody told you that you have to be here. So, ask me real questions. Don't just test my wisdom. Is he really smart? Let's see if he knows this question. Let's see if he can say this word. Okay, DK, I cannot help you steal books. I cannot help you steal books. There are many academic books online that you can buy. Okay, but I don't know where I can give you one. All right? Is this the reason why we pronounce the CE in apprenticeship? You pronounce the CE in apprenticeship because the original word is apprentice. An apprentice is an old word that means someone who is studying how to do something, right? So an apprentice carpenter is a young person who's learning how to be a carpenter. So they follow the carpenter. It's like a shadow, right? They're shadowing them, right? So an apprentice is an apprentice blacksmith, an apprentice, whatever, squire. It doesn't matter. The word apprentice just means somebody who's learning something, right? And then the word ship is a word that you put on the end of something if you want to create a position. It's a position now, right? A work position. So now it's an apprenticeship, okay? Would you like to be an apprentice? Then you can apply for the apprenticeship, okay? Thank you for the gift, Slough Powell. Thank you very much. And yes, chef equals chef. You searched its pronunciation, the transcription didn't have a CE syllable. Well, then it's wrong. No, shadowing, DK. Shadowing means to be a shadow. A shadow follows you everywhere. Shadowing is a technique of studying someone else who's really good. So when you find somebody and you say, wow, they're a really good teacher, or wow, they're a really good doctor, wow, they're a really good nurse, wow, they're a really good architect. If you find someone who's really good, then you should ask them, can I shadow you? Which means, can I come watch you work? Can I come watch you do what you do so well? So I can learn from you. I can study you. I can see, why are you so good? Let me make some notes. That is shadowing. Okay? And Elena, yeah, you're correct about those pronunciations, but I don't know why you're writing them. Are you asking a question, Elena? Shadowing. Shadowing. 就是如果你看一个人，你觉得你看他，如果你看他，你觉得他很厉害，他的工作非常好，所以如果他很好，你可以看他听他。OK， 你可以写啊，为什么他非常好啊？我觉得这是因为这个。听得懂吗 ？OK。To be a shadow of a master. That's right. Yes. You shouldn't shadow somebody who's not good. You should shadow somebody who's good. Okay? Yeah. I told you, I speak really bad Chinese really well. So my Chinese is really weird, and it's bad, but it's really good. Like, I'm really good at bad Chinese. That's good enough. 还好啊，还好。Okay, let's see. In the USA, is the word alien commonly used? Well, yeah, but in two different ways. One meaning of the word alien means people from outer space that are from other planets, right? That's an alien, right? UFOs and aliens. That's one meaning, right? There's a famous movie called Alien, right? But the other way to use the word alien is about talking about a foreigner who's in your country, usually illegally, right? So they usually call them illegal aliens because it's really illegal when you cross invisible lines. Is it disapproving to say it? What are we talking about? It. Oh, you mean is it derogatory to say alien? It can be. It could be used that way. It depends on who's saying it and their intent. Okay? What's my favorite English accent? Probably a Scottish accent. The Scottish accent is the most awesome English accent because it's so hard to understand. It's so colorful. They have the most colorful accent, and they have the most colorful slang, and they are a very, very colorful people who are very proud, and they speak their mind. They're very stubborn people who speak their mind. And I mean stubborn in a positive way. I'm part Irish, so it's kind of, I'm in the same neighborhood. We're stubborn too, you know? But we feel that's a quality that's actually not always bad, to be stubborn. When you wait for the traffic light to turn green, you don't watch because it feels slower if you watch it. Yeah, that's pretty close, Elena. I was pretty close. Is dictation an effective way of improving listening skill? It's one thing that you can do, sure. It's one technique that is good. But if you want to improve your listening skills, you should have 10 techniques or 20 techniques. That's just one. Dictation is one way that you can practice listening. Now I want you to come up with 19 more. If you have 20 ways to practice listening, you'll be fine. Okay? Who is my role model? I'll have to get back to you about that. I have many role models. It depends on what I'm trying to improve. There are some things that I look at this person and I say he's a role model. Like my father is a role model for me in many things, right? But there are some things that he's not a role model for me in, that maybe I look at somebody else for that thing, right? So there's no perfect role model. Everybody has qualities that you can learn from, and there are some qualities that they have that are not good to learn from, or that you should learn why it's not good, right? So sometimes when you learn from a person, you're learning the things that are good that they offer, but you're also learning the things that they do that are not good that you should avoid. What's the best way to learn advanced level vocabulary? Sachin, I would say the best way to learn advanced vocabulary would be, well, follow me, because sometimes I teach a live stream about advanced vocabulary, okay? I haven't done one in a few weeks, but sometimes I do a live stream that's all advanced vocabulary. I also do a live stream about something called etymology. Etymology means the history of the words. Where do they come from? What did they originally mean? And how have they changed over time? And etymology can be a really good tool for learning advanced vocabulary. Okay? All right, now let's see. Let me also give you this. If you're learning vocabulary, you can also go to here and read this. Read this article that I wrote about how to learn vocabulary. You know a lot of vocabulary, but when you speak, you don't know how to use them, or you can't remember them. Well, that's because of two things. One, it's because your way of learning vocabulary might be too shallow. It's not deep enough. Okay? You need a deeper way of learning vocabulary to remember them. And then two, the other reason why people can't use vocabulary is because when you learn vocabulary, you learn the word, but you don't know the context of the word. So that means you don't know where to use it. So when you learn a new word, you should ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek or Google, please show me some example sentences of this word being used, right? And look at 20 example sentences of that word being used. And then you'll see how it's supposed to be used and what context it's used in, right? And then you can start to understand that when you are in that context, if you are feeling that feeling, or you're doing that thing, or you're in that place, now those words are useful. So when you learn vocabulary, you have to learn what is this useful for. So imagine it's kind of like your dishes. I'm going to try to make an analogy. It might be a bad one, but let me try. If you have many forks and many knives and many spoons, and many plates and many dishes. Those are your vocabulary. But when you put them away, you put them in order. So you know where your spoons are, you know where your knives are, you know where your forks go, you know where your bowls go. And then when you need to use them, you know where they are. You can, oh, I need a bowl. Where's my bowl? Oh, it's over there. I can use that bowl. So that's like language. When you learn vocabulary, you have to learn the word and say, oh, this is a knife. Oh, that's a knife. Okay, great. Knives go over here. Knives are for cutting things. I need this for cutting. Now you know that this tool is good for this purpose. Language is the same. You have to know when this word is useful. And then how do I put it away so I can remember it? Like, okay, I need things for cutting. Oh, the knives are over there. I need things, a bowl. I need bowls. Where are my bowls? They're over here. Okay? What's the best way to be more confident when you speak with a foreign person like me? Elena, confidence comes from experience. The more you do something, the more confident you become. So why am I confident? Because I have been doing this for a long time. Okay, I've been a teacher for more than 30 years. And I have done 1,200 live streams. For more than 2,000 hours I've been here. So of course I'm comfortable and confident because I've done it a lot. So if you want to be confident, you have to do it until you are. Okay? So becoming confident is this. I'm not confident. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not confident. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not confident. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not confident. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not confident. I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, wait, I'm confident now. That's how confidence works. All right? Do it, and you will get it. When did I complete my high school? DK, that's getting personal. 1993, I graduated high school. Okay? But that's all I'm going to say. I can't give personal information out here, man. I'm on public. I can't do that. That's personal information. What does blimey mean? Blimey is a British phrase. It just means, oh no. Like, yeah, like, oh gosh, blimey. It's basically like gosh, like, oh wow, oh gosh, oh blimey. You know, that's my understanding. It's that's what it is. Okay? But it's a British thing, so you should ask a British person. Can I please give the top 3 effective techniques for improving listening skills? I will do one better. I will give you this link. Go there and use those links. Okay? Those are all links for improving your... Oh, wait, did I give the right one? Oh, I didn't. Sorry. Not that one. That's reading. Should be listening. Sorry. Hold on. Where's listening? Resources. Listening. I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong one. Oh, look at that. There's a problem with my blog. Or my website. The links are not right. Alright, go here. Sorry. Try this one. Go here. And try that. Okay? All right. Khan Academy. Here, I'll give you it. Hold on. KhanAcademy.org. All right, go there. Thank you, David. What about grammar? What about grammar? Where else do I stream live? Here and YouTube. Roberto has a question about speaking speaking English. How is the position of pronouncing the T and sound in irregular verbs, for example, the letter D? So I think I know what you're talking about, Roberto. I think what you're trying to say is how the letter T, when you speak quickly, sometimes the T sound becomes a soft D, right? So, for example, the word better, right? Better. When it's slow, it's a T. But when you speak it quickly, better, 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 better. Now, somebody gave me an explanation that I really liked that made more sense to me. The word, it doesn't change to a D. It's still a T, but it's half of a T. So it's kind of like you cut off the first half of the T, so it's not so strong. It's only the last part of the T, so it's a little bit weaker. And that sounds like a D. Okay? But it's better to think about it like it's not a D. It's just because it's so fast, you can only hear the last half of the T. Okay? You can't hear the entire T sound when it's fast, so you can hear the last half of it, and that sounds a little bit like a D sound. Okay? I think that's what you're talking about. Okay. Loyal or honest? Choose one and say the reason. Honest, because you can't be loyal if you can't be honest. How can you be loyal to someone if you can't be honest to them? You can't open what? The Khan Academy? Well, but maybe it's just because you're in China. Maybe it's blocked. I don't know. What did I drink? I'm drinking iced coffee. And Elena, Vietnamese iced coffee is my favorite iced coffee in the world. I love Vietnamese iced coffee. It is my favorite. That is the strongest coffee in the world, and I love it. You take one sip of Vietnamese coffee and you're like, like, wow, like rocket fuel, like, man, boom. You immediately feel that caffeine. I love it. How about the word worked? So, Roberto, the ED has 3 different pronunciations. There are some words that have a D sound on the end of them, just the D, right? So, for example, let me think of one. Hold on, let me pull up my notes. I have notes about this. One moment. Here we go. So, the ED, everybody, take a look at this. There we go. Look at this. English words have 3 ways to pronounce the ED. All right? So, words like want and need become wanted and needed. That's an ID. ID, id, wanted, needed. Okay? That's if they end with a T or they end with a D. If the word ends with a T or it ends with a D, then you use ID. If the word ends with these letters, P, K, F, G, H, S, H, C, H, S, S, C, or X, then the pronunciation of ED is T, like helped, helped, looked, sniffed, laughed, right? Washed, watched, kissed, danced, fixed. Those are all T sounds. And then we have these over here, where if it ends with these letters, L, N, R, G, V, S, Z, B, and M, then it's a D sound. Called, cleaned, offered, damaged, loved, right? Those are all da sounds. So there are 3 different ways to pronounce ED words. Take a picture. Take a picture of this. Okay? This is very useful. Can I read the T again? Wanted. I'm sorry. Helped. Looked. Sniffed. Laughed. Washed. Watched. Kissed. Danced. Fixed. Okay? Does coffee influence my sleep? I don't think so. Let's see. You're finding NCERT books, which are Indian on Khan Academy. Can I tell me where to find American high school? I don't know, DK. I don't know. Google it. I don't know. I don't usually use textbooks. I don't use any textbooks in my teaching. Now I have them. I have them, and I used them when I was in school, but I don't have any now. I don't use any now. Okay? Learn how to learn English, 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 how to learn English. Come here. Watch me. Listen. That's how. Okay? Nobody can give you that answer. There is no answer, okay, to how to learn English. Someone wrote a book about that. If someone wrote a book about it, then I cannot give you an answer. But I can tell you 83,000 people follow me to learn English. 83,000 people follow me to learn English. So follow me and pay attention, and then you'll be fine. All right? All right. Now, do I open daily at a specific time? Kind of. Usually Monday through Friday, somewhere around 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. All right? Now, sometimes I'm late. Sometimes it's 10:30 or 11, right? Or maybe it's early. I might come on 8:30 if I don't have any lessons. Maybe I come early. All right? But it's sometime in the morning, right? Morning, my time. Morning, my time. Monday through Saturday or Monday through Friday. Okay? I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio in the United States. Books never help in learning English. That's not true. Of course they help in learning English. Just because you couldn't make them work doesn't mean they don't work. They work. You just didn't figure out how. Or you used the wrong books. Books work. Books help. What is phonetic English? Phonetic English is how the words are pronounced and how that is written. IPA, DK, do a search online for IPA and read about it. That's what phonetic English is. Okay? You translate from Farsi to English, what can I do? Fatima, stop translating from Farsi to English. And you're going to say, but I can't, Teacher Mark. If it's difficult, then I can't do it. Okay, so Fatima, Don't do it if it's difficult. Do it if it's easy. Sometimes you say, I can't translate, but you're trying to say, I can't translate everything. And of course you can't translate everything. Okay, you can't use your English mind for everything, I mean English mind. So, don't try to use your English mind for everything if you can't. Use it for what you can. Can you use English for anything? Can you think I'm hungry in English and not translate? Can you think I'm tired in English without translating? Yes, you can. So do. Stop trying to say, I can't do it because I have to translate everything. No. Try doing the simple things. The simple things, you don't need to translate that. Okay? Have I ever thought about making a show before? What do you mean? What am I doing right now? This is a show. What kind of a show? What do you mean, Hussein? Okay, let's see. When I want to ask someone to do something, how to ask politely and not sound like an order? There's a good question. RK, when you ask someone to do something, you could say, excuse me, can you help me with this? Or would you mind helping me with this? Or could I ask you to help me with this? Right? Yeah, so just politely ask, can I ask you to help me with this? Or would you mind helping me with this? Okay? Do I know the online teacher, Arianita in Cincinnati also? Jack, I think I have heard of her. But I've never met her. I think I've heard about somebody who teaches online from Cincinnati who's really famous or popular, but I've never talked to her or met her. How can you talk to me? Well, you have to raise your hand, but you also have to have a question. Which is better, UK or US? French. There is no better language. Which is better, rock or jazz? Neither is better, they're different. It's a stupid question. No offense. I'm not trying to offend you, but there is no better language. There is no better language. There is no better food. Indian food, yummy. Chinese food, yummy. American food, yummy. All right? So there's no better. They're all good. They're all good. I really look like Russell Crowe. Okay. All right. I'm not, though. DK, I will try to reply to you, but I'll be a little bit busy after I finish here. I'm going to be finishing soon here. I've got about 5 minutes left here. How do you pronounce breathes? Breathes. So you have to do the right? Breathes. I'm very patient. I try to be, but I'm not always. Have I ever considered filming a comedy show? No. I have never considered filming a comedy show. I think I'm not funny. I think I'm funny looking. But I don't think I'm that funny. You're new to reading. Any good recommendations? What's my favorite genre? Reading session. I don't usually give too many book recommendations because I feel that books are very personal, right? So just like music, the music I like, you won't necessarily like that music, right? I love John Coltrane. I love Miles Davis, but you might not like it. You might not like that music, right? I love it. That doesn't mean you will, right? The book, The Count of Monte Cristo, I love that book. I've read it many times. I love that book. But just because I love it doesn't mean you will. So what I tell people is, when you're looking for books, the first thing you should do, if it's a book you are reading for fun, then it should be a fun book. If you're reading for your own pleasure, then it should be pleasurable. So find something that's interesting to you. If you like romance, read romance. If you like adventure, read adventure. If you like history, read history. Okay? And then Sachin, also I would say if you're new to reading, don't try books. Maybe try short stories first, right? There are lots of websites online for reading short stories. All right, like you can try this one. Is if you're really a beginner, try eslfast.com. eslfast.com is a good one for beginner to intermediate or beginner to early intermediate level. Your parents watch me and say I speak very fluently. Well, I try. How do native speakers learn about phonics? That's a good question, Frida. We learn phonics when we're kids, when we're, really young. They teach us the alphabet, and then they teach us about the pronunciation of the alphabet, like A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. And A, E, I, O, A, E, O, A. And you can see each sound has a different position, mouth position. Watch. A, E, I, O, A. All right? And then we learn the consonants. B, 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 ba, ba, ba. C, 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 ka, ka, ka. D, 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 da, da, da. Right? Then you put them together. B, 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 ba, ba, ba. A, a. Ba, ba, ba. Right? So you can say ba, ba, bi, ba, ba. Ba, ba, bi, ba, ba. Ka, ka, ki, ka, ka. Da, da, di, da, da. Fa, fa, fi, fa, fa. Ga, ga, gi, ga, ga. Ha, ha, hi, ha, ha. That's every letter. I'm just practicing each one together to learn the sounds. It's just like when I learned Chinese. When I learned Chinese, in Chinese they have something called ba pa ma fa, Frida, right? Ba pa ma fa da ta na la, right? 这是差不多. Okay? All right. Arshul wants to talk to me. Let's see if he can talk to me very quickly before I go. Arshul, do you want to come talk to me? And hello over here in my YouTube channel, Taylor and Mervat? Hello? And yes, there's a slight delay in the YouTube channel for everybody over on YouTube. It's like a minute or two behind. Well, Arshul, I tried to invite you up, but you didn't come. I have time to talk to one person. If you want to raise your hand, you can come raise your hand. Let's talk to Mar.
Good evening.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm pretty good. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it Maher?
Yeah, great. You're pronouncing you're saying it very well.
Okay. All right. Great. And you are in? Is that Syria?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. And so,
Syria.
so are you? What city are you in right now?
I live in France.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. And so, what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Yeah. To be honest, I have a problem that when I'm asked to write about something about topic, I don't have enough ideas.
So when someone's talking to you about something, you just don't know what to say?
No, it's when I'm asked to write about something.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, then let's start with this. Let me ask you a question. How do you write? What's your process? When you want to write something, do you have a process that you use for trying to write?
No.
Okay, well, there's your problem. That's your problem. You have no process. You need a system. Okay, so I'll tell
I
you mine.
I write in haphazard manner.
Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Sometimes you get lucky, and that works fine. But you really need a system for writing. So I'll tell you mine. My system is, the first thing I do is just brainstorming. And brainstorming, I take a piece of paper. Hold on, let me get some paper. Wait. All right. Do I have a pencil here? All right, so I have some paper. All right, and the first thing I'm going to do is brainstorming. And when I do that, I just take my first idea and I write it right in the middle, okay? So maybe I'll say fruit. Fruit is the first idea. I'm thinking about fruit, so I write fruit right in the middle, okay? Then I'm going to say, what do I know about fruit? Oh, well, there's apples and there's bananas. There's, all of those are fruits. So I'll start writing those all around the paper, and then I connect them to this idea, right? Okay. So you start with one idea, a big idea, and you write it in the middle. And then you think, okay, what do I know about that? What do I think about that? And then write all those just randomly and just draw lines to them. Okay, that's step one. And you do that with as many ideas as you can. So every part of if you're writing a paper, right? You're writing a paper about something, you have to say, okay, well, the first idea is this. This is the first idea. So I'm going to write that in the middle and then try to find all the things around it, okay? After you have that, then the second step is now you have to organize it. It's not organized now. It's like a web, but that's not organized. So now you have to write an outline. And
sorry, coming in?
You have to write an outline. An outline.
What does it mean?
An outline is, let me show you what an outline is. It's easier if I show you. Let's see. Let me find a good website. One moment. Nope, not that one.
I'm trying to Google it.
No, it means like you take the first idea, like number one. Roman numeral 1 is up here. That's the first big idea. We're going to say food. Food is number 1. What kind of food? Letter A. Letter A will be meat. What kind of meat? Number 1 under meat will be chicken, beef, pork, right? Fish, right? Those are kinds of meats. So, take a look here. Hold on, let me, how to.
Make a list of the ideas that
you
want
to talk about. But it's a list that's an organized list, where you're saying this is the most important idea, and this idea comes underneath that, and this idea comes underneath that, right? So you're labeling the priority of the ideas. Like this one is most important and this one is under it, right? So step 1 is that first idea where I don't want to organize it. I just want to just write it down. Just get it out of my head and put it on paper. It's not organized yet. That's stage 1. That's the brainstorming, right? Then stage 2 is taking your brainstorm notes, which are all unorganized, and now you have to organize them. Like, how do I take these and which should be first and what should be next? All right?
Yeah.
And then once you have an outline, now you can say, well, now I can write a paper. Here's paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. It's all organized for me. It's nice and ready to go. All my ideas are organized. Now I just have to write it, right? But if you don't do that, then you're just writing blindly, where you're hoping that you have organization. You hope that your ideas come out nice and easy to understand. But if you didn't have a system when you wrote, then you're just hoping. You're hoping it works, right? So writing, you need a system. Now, I use this for everything. If I'm giving a speech, I use an outline. If I'm trying to make an argument or a debate, I use an outline. If I'm teaching a concept, I use an outline. It helps me organize my ideas so that I can express them and explain them well. If I don't have organized thoughts, then how can I teach you?
Yeah.
Right? So step one is learning how to organize your thoughts so that you can express them well. Okay?
Great.
Yeah.
I have another question that sometimes I don't know how to sum up.
You don't know how to sum up. Okay. Wow.
Big question.
No. Yeah, but no, this is the same as what we were just talking about. Summing up will be much easier once you have an outline. Because your outline is one paper that lets you see the entire thing. Like, these are all my ideas. So the final paragraph will be, the way we do this is, your first paragraph is an introduction paragraph. Here's my idea. This is what I think, right? Reading is hard. That's my idea, right? Reading is hard. So I introduce the idea that reading is hard. Okay, now I have to prove my idea. That's the body. Okay, so first we have the introduction, then we have the body. Okay, during the body of the paper, that's where you have to prove your ideas. And that's why it has to be organized. You have to say, well, first, there's this reason, then there's this reason, then there's this reason. Then you sum up, then you summarize. At the end, you say, so in closing, which means at the end, in closing, I believe that that reading is hard. Why? Because of this, and this. And that's one sentence that will say 5 paragraphs. You had 5 paragraphs about why reading is hard. But your one sentence will just say reading is hard because of this, and this, and this, and this.
Okay, great.
That's it. It's just to summarize. But the outline makes it so much easier because the outline does the work of organizing your thoughts. And if you don't have organized thoughts, I don't know how you can make a good argument. I don't know how you can explain anything if it's not organized. So organization of thoughts is really important. And outlining is critical. And it's funny because I thought everybody knows how to outline, don't they? But then I learned, no, they don't. That's many people, excuse me, many people around the world, they never learn how to outline. The school system that they have didn't teach it. But outlining is so important. I did want to give a good website, so let me make sure. Here's one here. I think you can use this one for free. Pardon me. Yeah, here we go. This is a good basic one, right? This is a very, very basic idea of an outline. Here's the website here. Let me just share it so you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, here we go. This is creating an outline, right? So what is an outline? It allows you to brainstorm new ideas and make sure your paper will be organized, focused, and supported, right? So when should you write an outline? Writing an outline can take place at any time during the writing process, but usually it's in the beginning to doing research, right? At the beginning when you're trying to make your argument and do your research, right? How do you write an outline? First, identify your topic or your thesis statement. That means, what are you trying to tell people? This is your argument. I believe that reading is hard. That's your thesis statement. Because blah, 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 right? Okay? Then decide what points you want to discuss. What are your arguments? What is your reasoning, right? Put your points in logical, numerical order so that each point connects back to your main point. and write possible transitions. So here, look, this is it. Let me make it bigger so you can see. Hold on. Okay, so this is a sample outline. Main idea, 1. A, secondary or supporting idea. So this is underneath here. And this is another one that's underneath here. And each of these can have another sub-idea. So this is a way to just organize your thoughts. Let me see if I can show you some examples. Let's see. Like here, this one. Let's try to take a look at this. All right, so here's a 5-paragraph essay outline. Number 1, introductory paragraph. Create a topic sentence that will draw your audience in. So you need a powerful sentence. This is your first sentence that says, I believe this because this, and this. That's your statement, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have to say, because this, and because this. That's your introduction. Right? So I believe this because this, and this. And then you say, now you're going to make your argument. So here's your first supporting paragraph. Paragraph 1 says, this is my first reason why I believe this is true. Right? So this is your argument. First paragraph is your argument or statement. Okay? Your introduction. Okay. Then you have to prove it. Prove your argument, prove your statement, make your case, show your evidence, and you have to do it in an organized way. So think about what's most important to say first, right? Okay. And then organize them. And then here, conclusion or closing summary. And what you want to do is look at these paragraphs that you wrote or these notes that you wrote and say, okay, I need to make one short paragraph with a few sentences that summarize this, right? So the first sentence is going to restate your idea. So the first sentence of your paper was, I believe this is true because this. That's your introduction. Your closing has to do the same thing. When you close a paper, you need to say, I believe that reading is hard because of this, and I showed that because this, and this. That's my summary.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Okay? But having an outline makes it so much easier because the work is all done for you. You already made the notes. Yes. You made it nice and easy and organized, so now you can easily write it. Okay? It's important.
Great.
Okay? All right. Well,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Any other questions for me?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, well, great. All right, well, it was nice to talk to you. Nice to meet you. Come back and see me again sometime, okay?
You too.
All right.
You too.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you so much. Have a good...
All right. It's getting late, guys. I've been here for 2 hours and 13 minutes. And I'm really trying to not go so long most of the time because my voice gets too dry. So I do need to go here. But before I go, I want to make sure I give you my links here. So here is my link tree. If you go to my link tree, you can find my blog, you can find my podcast, you can find my YouTube, and you can find my website. Go to my link tree, follow my website. You can study English for free on my website. Go to my link tree, follow my YouTube. You can watch my YouTube videos. Go to my blog, follow my blog. You can read my blog articles. Go to my podcast, follow my podcast. You can listen to my podcast. Okay? And coming this week is going to be my birthday. On Wednesday is my birthday. And for my birthday, I'm going to do a very, very long live stream. I'm going to try to do 8 hours. That's a long time, so we'll see. Maybe I won't be able to do 8 hours, but I'm going to try to do 8 hours. Okay? And I'm going to talk, I'm going to teach, I'm going to play music, I'm going to do a lot of different things. Okay? So hopefully you can come back and follow me and join next week when I have my big celebration. All right? So, I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. I have done over 1,200 live streams. I have done 2,000 hours of teaching here. Follow me. Follow me. You're blocked from my voice rooms. I don't have voice rooms. I don't do voice rooms. I stopped doing voice rooms. I have not done a voice room in months and months and months. There are at least a few months that I have not done a voice room, so I have no idea what you're talking about. If you got blocked, then I don't know how that happened, unless you did something. You know, if you said something you weren't supposed to say, maybe you got blocked. But I didn't do it, as far as I know. But I don't do voice rooms anymore. I don't like voice rooms. Voice rooms bore me. Voice rooms are stressful. It's not good. It's not a good teaching environment. It's really not. These are much better. All right? So I do live streams, and you're not blocked here, are you? Okay? So, I have to go. Nietzsche, I'm so sorry I don't have time to talk to you today, because I would love to talk to Nietzsche. I have many questions for Nietzsche. Yeah, but I must go. So I will see you guys, not tomorrow. Sunday, that's my day off. Sunday. I don't do anything. All right? But I'm usually here Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. All right? So come back and see me again sometime. All right? Okay. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.